after turning 40 this year, I realized, like, no, I don't want a husband that lives in
After turning 40, I decided I don't need a husband that lives in another state.
completely different state. To me, I thought, oh my God, that's when we're getting along the best. But then that is sad.
Right, and who does that reflect badly on? Does it reflect badly on the husband or the wife? That the guy literally doesn't want to live with you. Let's think about why that might be. Kim. No.
Sad to me.
Kim Kardashian reveals the moment she knew she wanted a divorce from Kanye West.
I didn't come this far just to come this far and not be happy.
Again, the goal of relationships is not to be happy. How about having a stable family? How about, an emotional connection? How about being with a good man and sticking it through? No. I'm not happy, therefore I need to divorce. And again, this woman, right, Kim, she has millions of followers. Millions of people love her. So whatever she does, well, guess what? That's what the average girl is going to want to do as well. I'm not happy in my marriage, therefore it's time to break up. Like, it's very destructive.
It all went down on the series finale of Keeping Up with the Kardashians on E! During
Disaster.
a chat between the KKW beauty founder and her mom, Kris Jenner. Kim got candid about her life with the rapper, which has been split in recent years between their California home and their Wyoming ranch.
I never thought I was lonely, and I always thought that's totally fine. I could just have my kids. My husband moves from state to state, and I'm on this ride with him, and I was okay with that. And then after turning 40 this year, I realized, like, no, I don't want a husband that lives in
You cannot make this shit up, guys. I mean, like, what more needs to be said? She literally is... I'm gonna stick with the guy just as long as I need to in order to get a ton of alimony and child support. And then I'm gonna divorce. Disaster. I'm not happy anymore. Irreconcilable differences. Bam. Done. Guys, like, if it happens to Kanye West, guys, one of the richest men on the planet, like... Sorry, guys, I'm just, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they say that marriage is an unconscionable contract, right? Like, you can't enter into such an arrangement because of the negative consequences, right? Because of what can happen. And I mean, obviously, marrying Kim Kardashian, like, something bad's gonna happen, right? I mean, how did she become famous again? Yeah, too spicy for YouTube, but... But this is, like, too much, like, you can't make this shit up, guys.
completely different state. To me, I thought, oh my God, that's when we're getting along the best. But then that is sad to me. And that's...
Yeah, I'm not happy, therefore I'm divorcing. That's not the goal of marriage, though. It's children and a stable family, right? So, what? You literally marry one of the apex men on the planet, then you complain that he's not beside you 24/7, that he's going from state to state. That's like Julius Caesar's wife complaining that he went off to war when he is one of the greatest military commanders in history. It's just ridiculous. Complain all you want, right? But in those times, right, in the Roman era, like if you divorced your husband, you don't get any benefits, right? You don't get a ton of money, ton of child support, ton of resources, and everybody going, you go, queen, you're so strong and independent, you deserve to be happy, etc., etc., etc. Ridiculous.
It's not what I want.
Kim also explains that she's achieved, quote, 10 times more than she ever thought was possible in her life, but doesn't, quote, have a life to share that with.
What? What do you mean? You literally have a man to share it with and children, etc. Like, the way she's talking, it's like she's a man, right? Like, I've achieved so much, but I have no one to share it with, right? My wife is always away. No, you're the woman here. Like, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, again, if you as a girl become the very man that you're attracted to, and don't be surprised when then you end up miserable. Like, again, if she was a quote-unquote normal girl, Kim, I mean, she would have just followed Kanye wherever he went, right? But no. She's got to have her own life. She's got to have her own independent reality. She's got to be strong and independent and maintain her brand and etc. And then she wonders why her relationship falls apart, right? Hello and welcome to the Helios blog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just go there and subscribe to any tier. Any level of support is appreciated. Let's continue on with this disaster.
I want someone that we have the same shows in common.
We have the same shows in common. Yeah, that's what girls pick their criteria based on. Oh my god. Yeah, Ray J had the same shows in common with you, Kim? Ridiculous. And Kanye? How about your other ex-husband? What was his name? The tall guy, Humphreys or something? Yeah. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
I want someone that wants to work out with me. It's like the little...
So what is she saying? I want to be in charge of the relationship. I want a guy that's going to do what I want him to do. I want a guy that, like a doormat. Well, yeah, you're 40, so you've hit the wall hard now. So as a result, I mean, of course, she's quite attractive still, but you get what I'm saying compared to her 20-year-old self. And what I'm saying is, now she wants that security. Now she wants that safety. She doesn't want the apex alpha man anymore. No, she just wants his resources. Because, you know, Kanye isn't providing her with all the security and safety and you know, ass kissing that she needs. Being at this point in her, you know, in her life, and because she's rewarded for jumping ship, as it were, like, this is why we're in the situation we're in. Like, just so utterly ridiculous.
Things is what I don't have. I have all the big things.
Yeah.
I have the extravagant everything you could possibly imagine, and no one will ever do it like that. I know that. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful for those experiences, but...
This is a great freeze frame too. I'm grateful for those experiences, but I'm gonna divorce you and take half your shit because I'm just not happy. It's not that every woman will. It's that any woman can. That's the problem, guys. And again, if she did this, right? Literally having all of that extravagant stuff, which women would kill to have, right? But she's not happy. Again, there's a famous adage, right? That women are never happy. They're never satisfied, right? It's always more. Well, I mean, obviously not all women, but I'm saying, you know, the modern Western woman, right? And this is the perfect example of what we're talking about. This is just ungrateful, right? It's being given so much value to the point where, like, most people on earth could never, ever aspire to such a thing. And being unhappy and ungrateful for what you've received, right? It's just absurd to me.
I think I'm ready for the smaller experiences that will mean a lot.
The Skims founder says she doesn't want to rush to any big decisions, but her goal is, quote, total happiness.
Again, like, you can thank womanism for this, right? You can thank womanism, right? For girls just believing, like, I can achieve total happiness. I want total happiness forever at every second. And if I don't have total happiness everywhere at every second all the time, well then, I'm going to divorce you. Yeah, that's utterly ridiculous. Life is not this woo-woo fairy tale fantasy where you can be happy every second. It's just absurd to me that anyone could believe that that's reality. It's not. It's absurd, guys.
obviously complete bliss is like not a full reality.
Uh-huh.
I can have it more of the majority of the time.
I can do better than Kanye. I can do better. Even though your expectations have gone up while your value has gone down, right? And like, if a guy knows that, like, you divorced Kanye West, literally one of the most successful men in human history, do you really think that another man is going to want to marry you after that? All right, let's go to Rollo Tomasi article here. So this is called Frame. So again, guys, Rollo Tomasi is the godfather, required reading for all men, in my opinion. And just check him out. It's the Rational Male. So, iron rule of Tomasi number 1. Frame is everything. Always be aware of the subconscious balance of whose frame in which you're operating. Always control the frame, but resist giving the impression that you are. The concept of frame is yet another ephemeral idea that had need of a term in the very beginnings of the great masculine awakening that's become the community. If memory serves, I think it may have been Mystery who first picked up on what's really a very rudimentary and well-established psychological principle. In psychological terms, frame is often subconscious, mutually acknowledged person's narrative under which auspices people will be influenced. One's capacity for personal decisions, choices for well-being, emotional investments, religious beliefs, and political persuasions are all influenced and biased by the psychological narrative framework under which we're most apt to accept as normalcy. The concept of frame covers a lot of aspects of our daily lives, some of which we're painfully aware, others which we're not. But nonetheless, we're passively influenced by frame. What concerns us in terms of intergender relations, however, is the way in which frame sets the environment, the ambience, and the reality in which we relate with both the woman we massage at a bar and the relationship with the woman we've lived with for 20 years. One important fact to consider before I launch into too much detail is to understand that frame is not power. The act of controlling the frame may be an exercise in power for some, but let me be clear from the start that the concept of frame is whose reality in which you choose to operate in relation to a woman. Both genders' internalized concept of frame is influenced by individual acculturation, socialization, psychological conditioning, upbringing, education, but be clear on this, you're either operating in your own frame or you're operating in hers. Also understand that the balance of frame often shifts. Frame is fluid and will find its own level when a deficit or surplus of will is applied to change it. The forces that influence that lack or boost of will is irrelevant, just to know that the conditions of an operative framework will shift because of them. Pre-long-term relationship frame. Often I'll see posts lamenting some loss of frame. Lost the frame, how do I get it back? A lot of the times guys believe that because a woman initially gave them indicators of interest or was really into them in the beginning, that they had frame. This is another misconception that about frame, and I partly blame the PUA culture for it. Frame is not interest level. Simply because a woman is attracted to you does not mean she's ready to enter your reality. Her entering your frame may become a byproduct of that attraction, but it by no means guarantees it. In truth, under today's social environment, I would expect a woman to resist tooth and nail from rushing into a man's frame. This is why women have psychologically evolved a subconscious propensity to shit test to verify the legitimacy of a man's frame. Most gaming congruencies develop around a guy's inability to establish frame and opting into a woman's frame. What's ironic is that on a base level, we understand frame imbalances instinctually. If you feel like you're being led on or being made to wait for bedroom fun, you're operating in her frame. Are you in the friend zone, or did you accept a let's just be friends rejection? You're in her frame. Ideally, you want a woman to enter your reality. Her genuine desire for you hinges upon you covertly establishing this narrative for her. Famous men, men with conspicuous affluence and status, and men with overwhelming social proof have very little difficulty in establishing frame. So again, you see, Kim, when she's talking in her video about like what she wants the guy to do, she's saying, I want that guy to be in my frame. That's what she's saying. And she can't control Kanye. Kanye has very like rock solid frame. Because he has rock solid frame, he'll never give in to a girl telling him what to do. And so she can't control him. And so what she's saying is she wants a man she can control. And the sad part is that because of the way that the divorce laws work, she can still get control over the guy by divorcing him, right? Effectively. So a woman already wants to enter that world. She wants an easy association with a man who's unquestionably a proven commodity and offers her hypergamy. not just an actualized fantasy, but a high degree of personal affirmation in being the one a man of his grandeur would choose above other women. Unfortunately, you and I are not this man. He's a feminine idealization. However, it's important to understand how hypergamy plays into establishing frame. The man who impassively accepts women's hypergamous natures has a much easier time establishing frame from the outset. You or I may not be that famous guy with an automatic overt frame control, but we can be by order of degrees depending upon our personal conditions and the conditions of the women with whom we choose to associate. The default pedestalization of women that men are prone to is a direct result of accepting that a woman's frame is the only frame. It's kind of hard for most plugged-in men to grasp that they can and should exert frame control in order to establish a healthy future relationship. This is hardly surprising considering that every facet of their social understanding about gender frame has always defaulted to a feminine for the better part of their lifetimes. Whether that was conditioned into them by popular media or seeing it played out by their beta fathers, for most men in Western culture, the feminine reality is the normalized framework. In order to establish a healthy male frame, the first step is to rid themselves of the preconception that women's control frame is the default. They don't, and honestly, they don't want to. All right, so that's the article here. Let's go back to the video.
That's all I want to do. Wherever that takes me, I just want my pure happiness. So that's what.
Again, this is all about frame, right? I just want what I want. I don't care about what he wants, right? I need what I need, and I don't care about what he needs. That's her communicating that she wants the man that she wants to be with to be in her frame. And obviously, the further implication is that Kanye is not that man, right? Even though she had 4 children with him, by the way. So who do women have children with, right? Do they have children with the guy who refuses to bend and has powerful frame and is superior? Or do they have children with this guy that, you know, they like the same Netflix shows and you know, they just work out together and all that? So again, which of the guys do you want to be? The guy who spreads his genes or the guy who, you know, doesn't get what he wants?
What I'm working on, figuring out how to get there.
You're a very strong girl, and
You see? What does the mother say? You're a very strong girl. You're a strong, independent woman. You don't need no man. Also, notice the hair of the mom. Notice the outfit she's wearing. Very masculine, right? So what is she teaching her daughter? Very masculine stuff, right? And that's the point. The point is that this girl, Kim Kardashian, is just a representation of the exact womanist narrative that has brainwashed women for the better part of 60 years, right? That's what it is. She is the living representation of strong, independent woman. And is she happy? No. Is she married? No. Is she a single mommy? Yes. Is she going to end up alone with cats and boxed wine? I mean, there you go. Is she going to be a miserable spinster? I mean, I don't know if spinster applies to women that have had children, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I mean, there you go, right? She can't keep a man. And why can't she? Because her acculturation, her teaching, the you know, Western civilization that she's grown up in and been brainwashed by, which ironically is not what Armenian society is like, because Kim is Armenian heritage, right? That very Western society has destroyed her. Effectively.
you seem to handle everything very calmly.
Calmness is my superpower.
The 40-year-old reality star
I would use a different word. Anyway.
filed for divorce from Kanye after 6 years of marriage in February. And a source previously told ET that Kim wouldn't shy away from addressing her highly publicized marital issues on the 20th and final season of Keeping Up.
Just like, honestly, can't do this anymore. Like, I think that why am I still in this like place where I'm stuck for years? Like, he goes and moves to a different state every year. I have to be like together so I can raise the kids, you know? He's an amazing dad. He's done an amazing job. The whole thing
Still will be.
During part 1.
Right, so what's the point there? What's the point? He is an apex alpha male. Like, he literally has the money and the power and the influence to be able to live in a different state every month, right? And she knew that when she chose him. In fact, that is why she chose him, right? She chose him because he's so powerful, because he's so strong, because he's an apex man. But you see, she then turns around and complains about it, right? again, if she wanted a stable man, she could have had one. But she actively chose a man on purpose who wasn't like that, and then complains and divorces that man. Again, the lives of the children are the ones that are most affected by this, right? And of course, they have so much money that maybe it doesn't matter. But like, in order to have a stable household and the children to grow up with good values, they need a mother and father in the house. So that means you can't choose a man like that, girls. Like, if you want to have a stable, good life, that's not the choice to make. You don't choose a man that can move every month to a new state. A man who's a creative genius who, is maybe not the most psychologically stable, right? Like, you knew that going in, that that's the kind of man you were marrying. You knew that. And that's why you chose him. And the choice was incorrect, obviously.
One of the series finale, fans got their first look at what Kim was really going through in her marriage.
He deserves someone that can go support his every move and go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't.
That's right.
He should have a wife that supports his.
You see, I can't do that. But why? Because she wants the relationship to be in her frame. She refuses to submit because she is not she is, okay, very attractive, feminine in appearance, right? But not feminine in demeanor and behavior, right? Because feminine in demeanor and behavior would mean that she was submissive and cooperative. And by saying, I want to follow him around, like, he deserves a person that can follow him around, but I won't, she's saying, I'm not cooperative, I'm not submissive. And obviously, she's also not bedroom fun loyal either. Because how did Kim get famous? How many men did she divorce before the guy? Like, she has a proven record in the past of being, not maybe the most stable in long-term relationships. So, I mean, there you go, right? So all of that stuff was there. I'm not saying that Kanye hasn't done anything negative, right? But what I'm saying is that, again, 99% of the relationship problems can be prevented by partner selection, right? Obviously, Kanye chose wrong because she has so many bad behaviors, right? And she chose wrong because if you wanted a guy to take care of you and be with you and be the good dad, you should have chosen a man who is a good dad, not chosen a man who wouldn't be a great father and then complain.
Every move and travels with him and does everything, and I can't. I feel like a failure, that it's like a third marriage. Yeah, I feel like a loser. But I can't even think about that. Like, I want to be happy.
And despite all those tears, last month, a source told ET that Kim is, quote, in a great headspace and moving on in the...
Something else that I wanted to say is that sort of performative personality, the type of person that wants to be on camera every second, is probably not the kind of girl you want to be marrying, right? Guys, just a word of advice. Girls with performative personalities like this, with lots of tattoos, attention-seeking behavior, etc., who want everything in their frame, those kind of people are going to be unstable for long-term relationships. Just so you know, obviously not all, but a large percentage, right? And that's, again, if you're looking to have a long-term stable relationship, you probably don't want the girl that wants to be on the cover of every magazine and get the attention of every man, right? It seems logical.
The months since filing for divorce, adding that she's really focused on her family and has been spending the majority of her time with the kids.
In life, what I've learned is you just kind of have to go with it.
Quote, Kim is...
If only that were true. Right? If she said, in life, we just kind of have to go with it. Well, if you were just going to go with it, then you would have gone with Kanye. But instead, you chose not to go with it. You chose to go your own way and ended up divorcing. All right, let's do this relationship advice Reddit post. So this is just a classic story. It's hilarious. I, 30 male, upset with my girlfriend, 25 female, about how she acted at a club. I mean, can you guys spot the red flag? So I'm going to go ahead and start with this. It's a long-distance relationship. We lived near each other for 1 year, and then I had to leave for work, and she's supposed to be following me after 6 months, once the contract is done. She came to visit after 3 months, and I went through her phone. I know I absolutely shouldn't have, and I regret it. It was the first and last time I've done it. Now, the reason why I did that was because I wanted to see what really happened one specific night that she went out where her stories didn't match up at all. She sent me pics that night of her with her friends and said no guy had ever even approached them or anything. Odd. And that she only danced with her girlfriends and she barely drank at all. She was slurring her words when she called me. She sent me so many pictures and videos throughout the night, and in everything it was just them. I don't know, right? This second, what it was, but at the time she said a few different things that didn't match up, and it made me question that night very much. Anyways, I went through her phone, went onto the girls' group chat, and scrolled specifically to that exact date, only to find that her friends had shared videos of her on a guy's shoulder dancing with all her friends cheering her on, and then dancing with several other guys. Also saw text from a friend asking if she plans on telling me how she was giving out her bum to every guy at the club, and they were all just laughing and saying it's best for me not to know. I also saw texts about how she had disappeared for a couple hours with one specific guy, which she responds on that they were just talking and dancing, but they just didn't see. They were also talking about one of her guy friends who's super ripped, mentioning how they'd sleep with him if they ever got a chance, and all the girls were saying me too, including my girlfriend. I told her about what I saw and brought up the messages, and she instantly started crying, saying she realized the next day how bad all of this was and she was sorry, and that it would never happen again, and it never went any further than dancing or talking with any of the guys. You said no, the lie detector test determined that was a lie. I broke her trust by going through her phone. I'd asked several times to please be honest about that night because it was very fishy to me, and she fed me lies that I didn't believe. That's why I did what I did. But now I don't know what to do. I love her very much, and she's always been a great girlfriend. I've completely lost trust in her though. Is the trust reparable? Is the relationship reparable? Please don't attack me about the phone thing. I know I should have never done it, and I'll never again do it. Yeah. Disaster. So again, guys, if she's cheating, she's not your girl. She's every guy's girl. Which means that she's not, just break it off. Because it's only going to lead to disaster down the line. If she cheats on you once, she's going to cheat on you again. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Sorry, guys. Also, long-distance relationships are not relationships. She's just your pen pal. Alright, guys. We're going to end the video there. Again, thank you so much for listening. If you're new to the channel, liking the content, hit the sub, hit all for notifications. And if you would like to support me further, I do have a Patreon with exclusive content. Just go there. It's patreon.com/theheliosblog. Just go there and subscribe to any tier. Any support is appreciated. Again, guys, if you made it to the end of the video, you're wonderful. I appreciate it a lot, and I will see you next time.